That's a little better on the volume there. Good morning, Lucky Bill, in the chat. Looks like Ray will be next. Yeah, so currently we're looking at P1 Ink Bank at 13.8, setting the benchmark about a half second clear of P2. 13.5, 10 bar 28.9. That had no hissing key went off there. We'll run another lap. A-tight coming around. That's a hot lap on the medium. Got Suzuki and Will Ends making their first run on the medium tires. Off a little there, so you'll want to flex it back there and get another run. A-tight coming around up. So it looks like T-Widow's going to put on the medium tires as well. T-Widow, Suzuki, and Will trying to make a qualifying run here on the mediums. The medium to hard, one stop. It'd be a really strong strategy if you can pull it off and qualify high enough to make it viable. Stay on board with A-tight. See if that improves the volume. They're not sure what's going on with the audio. I'll try to get this worked out. He had across the line with a 15.3 for the first lap, moves him into P11. Fender coming around his first timed hot lap. Fender 16.5 on the first lap there, moves into P15. So Will Ann's the only one so far not to have set a hot lap. Had a little bit of an off on the first run with the mediums. On board with T-Widow here, making the run on medium tires. Looks like may have invalidated that lap. (16.5). See if he stays, goes for another hot lap here. Okay, quick run through here. A lot of the drivers now making their second run. Hank Banks still holding the provisional pole with a 13.8. The only driver into the 13s at this point. Greg Jimshaw on a 14 flat. P2. We're on an out lap, currently in P3. Talon holding P4 with a 14.5, and the Razor guy rounds out the top 5 with a 14.7. Okay, so coming up on 5 minutes left in qualifying, everybody will be getting ready for their last run here. See who's out on track to know is out on a second run. And we do have a weather report now. We are looking at a dry race as well as qualifying. So Haytat out on a second run. We'll go on board with Will Lands, making a second run on the medium tires. Heads up driving there. Someone on an out lap, pulling out of the way. We'll do a walkthrough here as drivers are preparing to make what will probably be their final runs. Ankbank currently sitting 9th in the points in the Renault on provisional pole, still holding it with a 13.8. Crack Jim Shaw, 14 flat. And the Alpha, he's in P8 in the points overall. DB still in the pits. Haytat on a hot, moved up into P7 with a 14.7. Yellow in sector 3, that looks just to be someone moving out of the way or out of fuel. There's Stevie and TV on a hot lap. Thank you for the heads up there, Monkey Pill, on the technical difficulties. Okay, so the last 2 minutes of qualifying here. Stevie's coming around. A 14.6 will move up to P5 in the Haas. Coming around now in the Williams. starting a lap. Most everyone now. Like to know will be next back. Ankbank retired. Starts that terrible. The current points leader coming out to make his final run. Got 1 minute. He'll make it back to the line easily. Currently holding a 22-point lead over his teammate T. Widow in the Drivers' Championship. 6 podiums this year, still looking for that first win. So yeah, looks like so far everybody is qualifying on the soft tires. And it is going to be a dry race. So these, for the top 10, these are the tires they will start on. Now, Suzuki is going to finish in P10, the 1:14.8. So Will stayed out on the mediums, committed to the medium tires. To see if he can put it into the top 10, he would be the only driver on the alternate strategy, so have to see how if that would work out. And 16.2, that will leave him in P18. Next to come around on the line. 126, that had to be an aborted lap, so he will finish in P9 with a 1:14.7. Terrible crosses the line, 1:14.6 to go into P6 in the Ferrari. And the Yuppie has aborted this lap. Ankbank will be the pole sitter with a 1:14.3. Crack Jim Shaw, the only other driver into the 1:13s. With Ankbank there will be in P2 with a 1:13.964. Teammate Weir will be in the second row on P3. T. Widow in the Ferrari will be in P4. Third row will be Talon and Terrible, 14.5 and a 14.6. Stevie the TV. And to know, we have Tim Barr and the Razor Guy, Haytide and Suzuki, T. Darson and Frosty, the Yuppie and Ray and the Mercedes there, 15th and 16th, and then Fender and Will Ange will round out the grid. Be curious to see what strategies we're going to go with here. So here we're going to have a 2-minute break here before the race. Let the drivers get their strategy set. Top 10 are all on soft tires, and it will be a dry race. So it'll be a 2-minute break, and we will be back. Okay, welcome back. Here's the drivers pulling off on the formation lap. Oh, Greg Jimshaw with a disqualification on the formation lap. Not sure what happened there, contact or lost that. Though we'll have him on the grid with cold tires. But not the start he was looking for. So here's our pole sitter, Inkbank in the Renault. Great qualifying lap. Greg Jimshaw will be alongside in P2. Row 2, we're at DV in the Alpha, followed by T. Widow, who is second in the points. And has 4 wins this season, been very strong in the Ferrari. Row 3, we have Talon in the Red Bull in 5th. With Terrible, the points leader, alongside in P6 in the second Ferrari. We have Stevie the TV in the Haas, alongside Deneau. And we have Tambar, the second Red Bull. Razor Guy, the 2 racing points there, be right together with Razor Guy, followed by Haytight. Suzuki. Up there as we're forming up here. T. Darson in the McLaren, Frosty in the Williams. The Uppy and Ray will be starting in the Mercedes, side by side there, followed by Fender and Will Enns rounding out the grid. So you're real interested to see what we do here. The first 10 all starting on the soft tires they qualified on. Here as the lights are out and we head down into turn 1. Nice start from Inkbank there. He's going to hold. Hopefully, Greg Jimshaw. P2, T. Widow away well. Looks like Terrible moved into 4th. We're going to have to wait. Timing and scoring here is a little glitched. We'll have to wait a couple of laps, let this straighten out. Looks like Terrible did pick up a couple of laps. Oh, Inkbank goes wide and is around. Coming out of turn 5, he's going to drop quite a few positions. We'll see where it ends out. And Stevie the TV also in an incident. We'll see if he picked up any wing damage. Looks good on that side. Yeah, he is missing an end plate, so probably going to have to come in for that. I think Inkbank was able to continue. Greg Jimshaw, no wing damage. Looks like everything's okay there. Ray on the hard tires. Ray and Will Enns both opting to start on the hards. Most of the rest of the bottom 10 there opting to start on the mediums. Okay, so it looks like timing and scoring's straightened out for us. Weir has moved into the lead, followed by T. Widow and Terrible in the 2 Ferraris. Haytight, big jump on the medium tires up into P4. That's going to put him in a solid spot for the race. Now see the predicted pit strategy, showing 2 stops, soft, medium, hard, or soft, medium, medium. I think we're going to see most drivers, though, opt for the 1-stop strategy. I think we'll see medium to hard or soft to hard if we don't see any safety cars. It is looking like it's going to be a dry race all the way around. Weirt's your leader. T. Widow 3/10 back. They have managed to pull out about a second on Terrible in third place. So T. Widow in a good spot here for. He will have DRS coming around and has pulled out of DRS range of the trailing cars. So Haytat is about a second back from Terrible, but is in a really good spot. The medium to hard strategy can be very strong. The soft tires will drop off really fast there after 4 or 5 laps. Suzuki picking up the first time penalty. It's a 3-second penalty for track limits. Back in P11. Back here, Bank recovered, stayed P6. And Ray picking up a 3-second time penalty. Track limits are so hard at Hungary, especially in Sector 2. And T. Darson picking up a penalty here on lap 3 as well. We'll go to the front here. T. Widow closing in on Weird, and we'll have DRS coming around onto the main straight. Also watching Haytat will have DRS. So Widow's going to go to the outside. Tries to switch back. Weird covers nicely, and a nice exit. Great racing for both of them. A little bit of a lockup from Weird, but he will hold on to the lead. Frosty and Razor Guy back and forth. Frosty on the medium tires as well, up into P8. And we have a yellow. We have one of the Mercedes around. It looks like Ray. Spun and is lost the wing there. Ooh, hard tires, super slick, hard to get it going again. Will be in for a wing change there. Suzuki's picked up another 3-second penalty, and Ray has lost it again. Those hard tires heat up so hard to get the car back under control, and a lot of steering trying to account for not having the wing there. So long race to go though. Safety car could bring them right back into the race. So back up front, T. Widow to the inside on Weird this time. Oh, great job side by side through there. Really nice exit by Weird. And will hold the lead headed through 3 and up into turn 4. And this battle has let Terrible pull up on the back of Widow now, half a second back. Haytat still following in the mediums. In P4. So we've got a DRS train going from P1 to P6, every car within about a half second of each other there. Then there's about a 5-second gap back to the second pack with Frosty on the mediums. Ray's picked up 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. Unfortunate today going from bad to worse there. Goes onto the soft tires. Frosty managing to get a little bit of a gap back to Tim Barr in P8. Will ends in on the hard tires, the first hard runner being in P9. We have to wait and see how it plays out. If he goes hard to medium, or stretches the tires out to make it hard and soft. Transition there. Go back to the front here. Weird still holding on. Keeping T. Widow behind. And T. Widow's picked up a 3-second penalty for track limits. As close as these are running, track limit penalties can be maybe decisive in the race. his first through 6, all still within around 3 seconds of each other. Suzuki's picked up a 3-second time penalty here on lap 6. So currently 3 seconds for Widow, 9 seconds for Suzuki, 6 for T. Darson, and Ray has 14 is our current penalty situation. So we're on 6 laps on the softs now for the front running cars. So we're kind of getting really close to pit stops for the 2 stoppers. For the ones going 1 stop, they'll probably have to push closer to lap 8 or 9 to comfortably get to the end on the hard tires. So far, looking at big winners, Haytat up 7 spots into P4. Hank Bank losing the car a little bit there at the start, dropped 4. Frosty's up 7 spots. 9 spots for Will. Crack Jim Shaw, Talon, and Stevie the TV both down 10 plus spots. Trying to go around the outside of Terrible there, not going to be able to make it. Soft tires still have a traction advantage coming out of the turn there. The front 4 now starting to pull away a little bit. Mo dropping back. The soft tires must be dropping off a little. He's dropped about a second back. And he's picked up 3 seconds for track limits as well. Looks like Terrible's used all the DRS up, keeping Haytat back. Here we'll drop back into the second back here. About 6-7 seconds behind the leaders, but all running within a second of each other. Will defending on those hard tires, keeping them behind him, starting a little DRS train with the second pack as well. So we're at T. Widow and Tano on the soft tires. They're the first cars to come in for pit stops. That cycles Terrible into the lead, and Haytat into P2 on the mediums. And we're T. Widow and Tano all going to the hard tires, so they are going on the soft to hard 1 stop run there. Let's see what our closest battle is. Haytat still pressing Terrible 2/10. As they move around, that is going to put Haytat will cycle into the lead here. Let's look at the gap backwards and see. We'll watch and see how the medium tires are going to hold. Right now, Haytat really close to coming out right with the leaders. So see if the medium tires will hold on long enough for him to pull a gap to be able to take the lead. Okay, Terrible going for another lap on those soft tires. Showing great tire management. That can come back to help a lot later, as he will. Looks like one of the Mercedes front stretch. I believe that is Ray. The yellow flags. I think he was moving over to let some of the lead lap cars go by. Still appears to be on pace. think the closest on-track battle is still T-Widow and Weird, which I believe currently this will be net P1 once some of the other cars start making their stops. As it stands, Haytight's the only medium tire runner that could threatening to take P1 on the medium hard strategy. And Terrible is now making his pit stop on lap 9. Yellow in sector 3. Looks to be, I believe that's Ray letting drivers pass. Razor guy picks up a 3-second time penalty. And so those, the 2 extra laps Terrible ran there, looks like it's cost him a couple of spots. He came out behind Ink Bank and Dano. About 2 seconds back, dropped about 3 seconds behind T-Widow and Weird. We'll see. T. Darson looking here. I think our closest battle on track is still the battle for net P1 here with T-Widow and Weird, so we'll just hang out here for the moment and keep an eye. We'll keep an eye on the front 6 cars now. Fender and Yuppie are the only 2 Fenders within DRS range. All the other cars now having gotten a gap where no real danger behind. Oh, Dano really wide there on the exit, but hangs on to it and keeps going. Fender about a second behind the Yuppie. So we're just under halfway. Everybody's settling into a nice rhythm. Looks like one of the racing points is around. I believe that it is the Razor guy. Maybe a little too much throttle out of turn 1 there. But he keeps going, no wing damage. So he should be fine to continue on. So we'll move back to the battle here, T-Widow and Weird. As they head around onto the front straight, T-Widow's still right behind him. But Weird still great exit out of the turns, able to keep the cars behind at bay. Take a look here. Managing ERS really well. Look back, about the same as T-Widow, so I think they're both just settling in now and keep things going for the end. A yellow flag, we got one of the Red Bulls around, and that is Tambar. Don't see any damage, we'll see, make sure here. Yeah, no damage on the front wing. They'll be able to continue. Closest battle here. So Fender is closing in on the Yuppie, slowly reeling him in. staying in DRS range. But 13 lap old medium tires, both of them are probably starting to feel those tires slide around a little bit at this point. And let's look at the gap back. So the fresh tires, Weir and T. Widow, Engbank, Deneau, Terrible, all have been able to pull that gap back in. Looks like Haytat currently would drop out, would come out of the pits between Terrible and Crack Jimshaw. Which Crack, after the early incident, making a nice comeback. He's gotten back within 3 seconds of Terrible on the hard tires. Deneau's closed that gap back to Engbank a little bit now. After the near incident coming out of the final turn. It's a great save. Now with DRS, he is going to dive to the inside. And Engbank not putting up a fight, just going to let the teammate through there. Good teamwork. Deneau's faster, go ahead and let him go, see if he can get the team more points there towards the front. So now for the early stoppers, this can be where it can hurt. They have caught the back of the medium tire runners now who have yet to stop. So Weir has caught T. Darson. So now Weir, T. Widow, Deneau, Engbank, Terrible have got to start trying to navigate through the cars that haven't stopped yet, who are on old tires, to not let Haytat, Frosty, and Will Enns at the front pull out too far. And Will Enns has gotten past Frosty. Frosty's dropped into the pits, as has T. Darson. So the medium tire runners now starting to drop in. Lap 16, I would expect all of the medium tires, they'll be on a medium to hard strategy at this point. There's no way to make it to the end on softs without stopping twice. So that helps Weir that they stop now, so that's going to free him up. He's got about 4 seconds to the next car up. So that should allow him to maintain the gap, to maintain P1 once the rest of the cars cycle through. So we're watching the battle with what will be the leaders all still running first through what will be net P5 within about 4 seconds of each other. With Weir, T. Widow, Deneau, Engbank, Terrible, and Crack Jimshaw, who is now closed to within 1.5 seconds of Terrible. So we have a racing point in the pits. That is Haytat making his stop. We'll see where he comes out. I would expect him to come out probably behind Crack Jimshaw at this point in what will be net P6 or P7. Frosty, who'd stopped the last lap, may have did not get the undercut, so Haytat drops out between Terrible and Crack Jimshaw. So that leaves everybody having made one stop now except for Will Enns, the Yuppie, and Fender. All on the tires they started on. Will making looks like the hard to medium run, making it work well. Was able to climb ahead of some of the cars and now out in the lead by about 2.5 seconds. Okay, Yuppie and Fender both making their stops now. That will leave just Will Enns not having made a stop, and he will probably go a few more laps. And looks like, I believe that's Ray letting drivers through. Yeah, he moved over. Great sportsmanship there. Knowing down a lap, letting the lead pack through. Okay, so now at the front, everybody cycled through. Will Enns currently sitting in front on the hard tires, yet to make a stop. About 7 seconds in front of Weir at the moment, who will be net P1. Depending on how long Will can go on these tires, it could work out very well if a safety car were to come out. So the lead pack still all right together. Weir, T-Widow still right behind. Been running within about a half second of each other the entire race so far. Deneau sitting in net P3 within DRS range of T-Widow. Engbank has started to drop back a little bit, and Deneau picks up a 3-second penalty. So looking at the penalty situation, Weir and T-Widow both even with 3 seconds each. Deneau has 6 seconds in penalties, Engbank with 3. Haytat and Terrible both penalty free, 3 seconds each for Drac and Frosty. Talon, Yuppie, and Fender all with no penalties. Timbar with 3 seconds, Suzuki has 12 seconds, Stevie the TV with none. And then the Razor guy, T. Darson, with 3 and 6 seconds each. Okay, so Will coming up on 19 laps on those hard tires, expecting him to make his pit stop at any moment. Haytat's caught the back of Engbank. See the light blinking. Engbank close to being out of the ERS now. Seems to be struggling just a little bit on the hard tires. Dropped back about a second and a half or so from his teammate. Stevie the TV picking up another 3 seconds in penalties here on lap 20. T-Widow closing in. See the light blinking on Weir and Deneau. Looks like they've both used up most of their ERS at this point. Weir defending from the DRS of T-Widow behind. Very hard to pass here at Hungary. Turn 1. There's a couple of spots where you can make a move, but turn 1 being the ideal passing spot here on the track. Use DRS, make the move in, and then still have DRS going down into turn 2 to protect the pass. But we're so far great defense and excellent exits coming out of the turn, helping to maintain that lead. Looking back through the pack, Ink Bank about a second. Haytat still right behind there, staying in DRS range. Terrible's dropped back about 2 seconds, with having to keep Grack and Frosty back. And now we see Frosty trying to go by. Greg Jim Shaw gets the inside run. Nice exit and has the move done. That moves back on the outside into turn 3. Holds that spot for P8. Great driving from both of them there through turns 1 and 2. And it looks like Mercedes around on the front stretch. Looks like Ray may have had an incident coming out of the final turn. And we have a Red Bull around in turn 1. I believe that is Tambar. Oh yeah, significant wing damage. And looks like he may be stuck on the curb. Oh, and has been disqualified. He looks like he was stuck. That is very unfortunate. Disqualified, it looks like, probably for sitting on the track. Very unfortunate by the game there to disqualify, because it definitely looked like he was trying to get the car going. The car does move to the side though there. Parts should not cause a safety car. Greg Jimshaw has cleared Terrible. We missed that pass there while we were reviewing the incident. Nothing's changed at the lead. Will Ann's continuing on those hard tires he started on. Weert has cut into that lead now, about 3 seconds into the lead that Will had on those hard tires. The rest of the running order staying the same there. Weert is in P2, T-Widow in P3 right behind. Deneau and Ink Bank keeping up the DRS train. They're all within a half a second of each other. Haytat in P6, then 2.3 seconds back to Greg Jimshaw, who's just about pulled out of range there. Frosty with DRS trying to make the move on Terrible. Not able to get alongside. There goes side by side. Nice driving there from both, holding their lines. Terrible will maintain P8 with Frosty in P9. Talon has made an additional stop for medium tires. Red Bull mediums will carry through to the end now. So Weert and T-Widow within 3/10. We're going to catch this battle going on as they come around onto the front straight. Suzuki's picked up 3 seconds here on lap 25. Both out of ERS. Widow to the outside with DRS. We're holding the inside line. A little bit oversteer for Widow there coming out of T1. Trying to get on the throttle there, get some traction coming out, but able to hold on. Okay, Terrible was able to keep Frosty back that lap. And then looking back from them, about 10 seconds back from Frosty to the Uppy, who was pulled out of the RS range. Fender in 11th, Talon running in 12th, Suzuki in 13th, Stevie the TV in 14th. Then T. Darson, Razor Guy, and Ray 15, 16, 17. Tambar, the only driver out of the race at this point due to an unfortunate disqualification. Spun, was put in a position where he couldn't really get back on the track, and was disqualified for staying still. So front three staying the same. Haytat trying to make the move around Ank Bank into turn one. Battle's going to continue. Slides, a little bit of contact. Looks like both Ink Bank and Haytat locked up there going into turn two. Slid into each other a little. Hard driving, both of them trying to leave space and lock the tires. Frosty picking up 3 seconds in penalties. Terrible's picked up a time penalty. Take a quick look here. So Weird and T-Widow still at 3 seconds each. Deneau with 6 seconds, Ank Bank with 3, Haytat with none. Greg Jimshaw with 6, Terrible with 3, and Frosty with 6. And I believe that is Fender had a car around. It's one of the Alphas. No damage for Suzuki. And Fender yellow on the front stretch. I believe that was Ray letting the drivers by. 18 laps on the soft tires. Sure, there coming up lap 27. Will still out on the hard tires, leading with 26 seconds. He will have to make one stop for either soft or medium tires. I assume he would go into soft tires at this point in the race, but he will have to make at least one stop. We're at about 3 seconds back. So Will able to maintain the gap on the old tires. T-Widow still right behind, waiting for the opportunity. They've managed to pull out of the DRS range of Deneau and P4. Haytat closing that gap down now and within DRS range. And Will Ans has made his pit stop. We'll see. I would expect him to go to the soft tires, and he does. We'll see where he drops out. I believe he will come out in P9 behind Frosty and ahead of the Uppy. So not sure what's going on with Ray's car at this point. 18 laps on the soft tires, believe may have punctures at this point. I'm not really sure if they are in session or not. Yeah, definitely punctures on both left side tires and is going into the pits. So back at the front, we're still on race, picked up 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. So we're pulling out a little bit of a gap now, about a half second back to T-Widow. But no ERS. T-Widow does have DRS. Not going to be close enough to make a move into turn one. We're making excellent exits, getting really good traction. coming out of turn 1 down there to maintain that lead. Must be running a really stable setup because he has great traction and able to maintain the lead there. So Greg Jimshaw has made it past Inkbank, pulled out about 1.7 seconds now, and is starting to track down. Ray, 10-second time penalty for track limits. Looks like he was off. We'll keep an eye on the battle at the front here, looking back. Talon closing in on the Yuppie for P10. The closest battle currently on track. The front 4 still all in a DRS train. We're at T-Widow, Denote, and Haytight. Crack Jimshaw's moved into P5 and is slowly reeling in Haytight. And then Ankbank following closely behind there. Terrible's dropped back about 3.5 seconds now from Inkbank. Will Ann's picking up fastest lap, 1:17.1. In P9 on those fresh soft tires. And Ray has retired. Appears he's pulled into the pits to retire there. The second retirement of the race. Tambar being disqualified earlier, unfortunately. And I believe I mentioned Will Ans has picked up fastest lap. On those fresh soft tires. Fresh softs on these older hards. Won't really be any competition. Yeah, terrible. Dropping back to about 4.5 seconds away from Inkbank. Deno trying to make the move on T-Widow down the front stretch now. Into turn 1, has the inside line. Oh, and they push each other a little wide. It's a little wide there, and that lets Haytack go to the inside. They're going to be 3 wide in contact. Going into turn 3, Haytack getting pushed out a little there. Trying to go around the outside. T-Widow's picked up another 3 seconds. Desperately trying to hold on. And that has let Weird pull out about 2.5 seconds as the 3 behind are battling. As we're coming up on 4 laps to go. All the drivers starting to get really racy now. At the end, a lot of patience up to this point. Settled in, everybody's in a good position. Looks like we're going to be in for a really exciting finish here at the front of the pack. As we have 2.6 seconds now between Weird and T-Widow. And back to P7, Deno, Haytack, Crack, Jimshaw, and Ankbank. All within 0.3 of each other. Oh, and Haytack goes around coming out of the final turn. And Grack and Ankbank going side by side now. This is for P4. Ooh, hard squeeze going down. And Crack into P4, Ankbank in 5. Go back and check. Looks like Haytau able to recover without any wing damage there. He dropped back to P9. And the fallout from that. So Weird now has 3 seconds. Deno running way wide there. Penalty situation. Weird 3-second lead. Widow has 6 seconds in penalties, so Weird should be. It looks like he is going to lock in P1 here. With 4 to go coming around, he's going to take the flag for 3 to go here. With a comfortable lead. Deno with 9 seconds in penalties. He will desperately want to get by T. Widow here and try and pull out a gap. He is going to make the dive into turn 1. And has the move made there. Looks like Widow may be struggling just a little bit on the Widow looks like it may be struggling a little bit on these old hard tires. Greg Jimshaw's pulling up behind him now as well. Hank back only 7/10 back, and with 3 to go, Will Ans on those fresh soft tires has made it back to P6. 3.6 seconds behind Ankbank. If Will can catch that pack and get in DRS range, he may be able to make a big jump here right at the end on the hard to soft strategy. And he currently has no penalties, so he could be looking at possibly a P2 on penalty time. So we'll leave the penalties up for the moment. As we close in on the end, we won't be seeing any other pit stops unless someone happened to pick up image. Now Greg Jimshaw making his way past T. Widow. Getting the move done on the straightaway. This is our closest battle on track to know. About a second and a half ahead of this pack, but 3 seconds behind Weert. Here with a lap and a half to go. Weert's comfortably sitting in for the win, with the battle going on behind, letting him pull away. Now Ankbank starting to put pressure on T. Widow as well for P4. Will Ans has closed almost 2 seconds this lap, closing in on Ankbank. And about 2.5 seconds back behind is Terrible in P7 in the second Ferrari. Ankbank moving to the inside. Try to make the run down. Widow gets a great exit, good setup, and looks like Widow will hold that position on the inside line there on the final lap here. Will Ans has caught right onto the rear, another 1.5 seconds that last lap, right on the rear now of Ankbank with no penalty time. Will's looking to make a great jump. Probably going to go to P2 as it stands right now. Making that hard to soft strategy work very, very well. Keep an eye on this pack here where he is going to come across the line for the win. Deneau will take P2, but is going to drop due to penalty time. Greg Jimshaw currently into P2. Here as drivers crossing the line, we'll let penalty time sort out and then get a final running order here. Weert will be the winner. It looks like Weert DV will take the win here in Tier 1. Greg Jimshaw in P2, and Ankbank will round out the podium in P3. Will Ans on the hard soft strategy was able to pull into P4. It's a great run there. 14 spot gain there. So last to fourth using the alternate hard to soft strategy. Haytat hangs on for P5. Deneau into 6th, Terrible in 7th, T. Widow in 8th in the second Ferrari, Frosty in P9. The Uppy rounds out the top 10. Talon in 11th, Fender in 12th, Stevie the TV in 13th. We'll catch the rest of the pack here once we get the race director back up. Solid race from the guys there. A lot of excitement there at the front. Almost the entire race. The front 6, 7 cars all within a second or two of each other. So we'll pick back. So we're at Crack Jim Shaw, Ankbank and Will Enns, Haytat and Deneau, then Terrible and T. Widow. Frosty and 9th, Yuppie rounds out the top 10. Talon and P11, Fender in 12th, Stevie the TV in P13, Suzuki in P14, Razor Guy in 15th, T. Darson in P16th, and then Ray and Tim Bard did not finish. So this has been the Tier 1 race here from Hungary for the Performance Racing Lead. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week.